Hello everyone, welcome. Long time no video. I apologize for not uploading for some time now. Life just got so busy, but in the best way possible. I was traveling a ton and then I just had not that much time to film what I wanted to film. But today I'm going to be filming my entire photocard collection. I did this video a year ago, probably more than a year ago at this point, and my collections have drastically changed. For starters, I use completely different supplies than I had the previous year, and also I added a new collection that honestly shocked me. I did not think I would be adding any collections to my photocard collection, but I added a pretty serious collection, and I'm sure you might know what that is, but I am nonetheless excited to show it off. I did want to preface by saying that my photocard collection is in no way a reflection of the groups that I love and listen to. I have found it more fulfilling to collect select groups and just focus on those collections rather than to collect every group that I love. And so those groups are Stray Kids, i-dle, and enhypen. So without further ado, let us get into my collections. One more thing, I wanted to take this as an opportunity to tell you how I started collecting these groups and honestly just a little bit about how I got into these groups. So I will be doing that instead of like saying where each card is from. So if you have any questions about where a card might be from, feel free to leave a comment down below and I will respond to you. And yeah, without further ado, again, let's start with this A5 binder. On the front here, I just have this little ID card for my fruit teen from a small business shop called, they're called All My Love Co. I will link it down below. They made little plushies of the 17 members into fruits. And so Hoshi is a tiger strawberry, which strawberries are my favorite fruit. So I just put this on the cover because it is so cute and I love that little plush. But to start off this binder, we actually do have 17, or I have 17. So 17 has been a group that I have loved for so long now. I started being a fan of them right after Ataka but before FML, and it was the 2-1 performance video of Vernon and Joshua that I was like, whoa, the song is so good. And so I started listening to Ataka before I really knew all the members. I knew a few, but 13 was really intimidating to get into. And so during FML era, I bought every standard version, but I never traded for my bias, who was Hoshi. And I think I just got intimidated by collecting this group, and so I never started a collection, but I truly love 17. I love the cards that I have now because honestly, these are ones that I've found at cup sleeve events, and some of these are my original pulls, but as you can see, I have no Hoshi. I'm really just waiting for the moment until I find a perfect Hoshi card at a cup sleeve event, and then he will be added to the collection. But yes, this is 17. They are going on tour, and I don't think I'll be able to make it this time around. It's just too many tours, y'all, too many tours, and they are too expensive. So I'm very sad about it, but we will see. Maybe I will do a last minute trip to LA and buy some last minute tickets. I don't know. But yes, that is 17. Next is my enhypen collection, and this is the collection I was talking about shocking me the most. I have fallen down the rabbit hole, y'all. I really have. I love this group so much, and Heesung has definitely become one of my like top biases in K-pop. I just admire him so much. He has such great artistry, and I really do enjoy collecting him, even though it is a bit intimidating because I think just collecting enhypen is a bit intimidating. They do have a lot of older cards that are harder to find, like album cards, but I am determined. I am very determined. I have always been a fan of enhypen's title tracks and their concept, but I had never felt the need to get into them as a group until Fatal Trouble era, I watched those stages because I do like watching stages of other groups that I'm not necessarily like a true like stan of, I guess. Like I do appreciate a good music show stage. And he really just caught my eye. I think I had known about him because he's obviously friends with like groups that I do love, like Stray Kids IN, and I have been a fan of TXT for a while. So I knew of enhypen, and I knew like Jay was kind of like my first bias-ish, like he was the member I was like, oh, I like Jay. But the Fatal Trouble stages, oh my gosh, that entire album, the memorabilia album, is so good. And I don't know what possessed me to do this, but I started watching i-dle, and honestly, like that, they went through so much, but that just gave me a greater appreciation for all the members and just like, I guess, their beginnings. And so Romance Untold was my first comeback with them, and I loved it so much. After that, I just delved into their discography, like actually listened to their B-sides, and their discography is just truly top tier. I still learn like new things every day with their discography. I still want to like sit down and watch all their music videos from start to finish to try to understand the lore. But yes, I love collecting Heesung. He truly, like I said, he has become one of my favorite artists in K-pop, and he just works so hard, and he is honestly just such an amazing performer, singer, and yes. Oh my goodness, I had wanted to film this before I saw them in concert in LA, but I did see them. I want to reserve like talking about that for the next video I want to film, which is a sleeving photocard video, because I have a ton of cards to sleeve, and spoiler, a lot of them are enhypen. And then I have Jay in the back here because I think I found like trades for these. Okay, I was a little bit too ambitious. When I first decided I wanted to start collecting enhypen, I was like, I'll collect my bias line, which is Heesung, Jay, and Jungwon. And so I had Jay's template up. I don't even think I have Heesung's equivalents to these, so I've just kept these. They are such beautiful cards. I truly love Jay as well. He is so funny. He is so funny. I keep on seeing his like Weverse replies on Twitter, and he is truly the funniest guy. I adore him. And then that is the end of that collection. Lastly, I do have zerobaseone in here. I love this group. In Bloom was one of my favorite debuts. I didn't watch Boys Planet as it came out, but after I saw In Bloom, the stages, I was like, oh, okay, let me watch Boys Planet. And honestly, it was really like fun for me to watch because I knew the lineup, and so I didn't have like as much stress around it as like I'm sure a lot of people did, which valid. There are definitely some idols in there that I was like, oh, I wish you debuted, but some of them have debuted, which great for them. Yes, my bias is Hanbin. He is one of my favorite. Again, he ended up being one of my favorite artists in K-pop. I just sometimes like zerobaseone's music, like I will listen to the album as it comes out, and I will like re-listen to the album, but I never like come back to some of their music, so that's why I never started collecting them. Also, they do a lot. They have a lot of comebacks, and they do a lot of photo cards, but these are some trades, and I think like these are probably from the signed digipack from Blue Paradise. I did secure Ricky's for that. And this, oh my goodness, this is from a go I was in for like a year. It was like not a fun experience. So this will always be with me. I really want Ricky's equivalent, but I have never really like looked for it. But there was once I did look for it on Poke Market, and I saw the price and I was like, oh, okay, so maybe not. But I do have 2 of their signed digis coming for this new era, which I think just released today. Today is August 31st, and I think it released September 1st Korean time. So I think it actually did release. So I will be listening to that very, very soon. But yes, I love zerobaseone. I wish they would tour. You know, I can never make it to KCON, but I really would love to see them. So yes, I will definitely be like slowly continuing this collection, probably just from the signed digis that I get. But that is the end of this binder. This front cover is a mini print from a small artist that I found at a cup sleeve. I will try to link it down below. I think I remember the artist name, but yes, I will link it down below. It's June in Limbo. June's solo music, so good, so good. But this is the first binder. Moving on to my i-dle collection. i-dle is my alt girl group, and I do collect quite a bit for them. I love collecting i-dle, even though I'm a bit behind on We Are era, and I have not been able to really dive into their older eras previous to I Never Die. Regardless, I truly love collecting i-dle, and I have been collecting them since I Never Die era. And it's quite funny because I got introduced to i-dle through music shows, like watching, I think I was watching for Skiz, but I was watching it live. I don't know what music show, and you know, I was waiting for Skiz to come on. Tomboy came on, and I was like, whoa, this is really, really good. I love this. And Shuhwa really caught my eye during that stage, and so I listened to that album, and I blindly bought that album from a local K-pop store without knowing the other members really. And I pulled Soyeon, who ended up being my second bias. I bias Soyeon and Shuhwa like evenly. Neither of them are the record. They are both my bias. Yeah, so I pulled Soyeon for that album, and then I bought another album and I pulled Soyeon again for the I Never Die album. And so it was just fate. It truly was fate. I am still working on I Love. So for I Love, at this point, they actually had their albums, their standard albums in Target. And so after I Love era up to, I would say, I Sway era, I would buy the standard albums in Target and trade for either Soyeon or Shuhwa. And for I Love era, I trade to Shuhwa. So I don't have a lot of Soyeon because I wasn't like too into fully collecting them at that point. I just really wanted their albums. So, and then I would never really buy the like polka or jewel cases, but I do want to back collect them. And so after I Never Die, they started having their albums in Target. And then during 2 era is really when I was like, wait, I love this group so much. Like, I want to collect like as much as I can for Soyeon and Shuhwa, at least their album cards. And so I actively like tried to buy any album cards I was missing, even though you can see I didn't do that well. But I did start claiming for more like lucky draws and fan sign events. And then I Sway era is when I found GOMS, and I collected so much for this era. I was just fully into collecting i-dle. You will see for both my girls that I collected quite a bit of cards. And then We Are era is just, I'm just behind, honestly. But I love i-dle. I truly, like, as years progress, I have been more and more into them. I started watching their content like a few months back, and I obviously love the other girls. I've been like supporting their solos as I've known that they've come out. Like Oogie, I bought her solo, and then Minnie. I'm pretty sure I was into i-dle when Myeon debuted, and Soyeon, but I didn't like know, I guess. And so sadly, I did not purchase those on pre-order. But yes, I started watching their content, and I just have such a like, I have so much appreciation for these girls. They're so funny and they're so hardworking. And they're actually coming out with a Japan comeback, which to my knowledge they have done Japanese promotions before, but this is like a comeback in 5 years for them. And so I am so excited for that. I'm excited for new music. I'm excited to see like what that will look like in terms of collecting, even though I'm scared at the same time. I don't think I'm going to be pre-ordering any albums just with the way of the world, but I definitely will be looking into everything closer to the date on like Mercari Japan. And then we have some tour things for my girls. Some random cards, honestly. Fan kit, season's greetings. I started buying like more merch for them, and I probably will continue to buy like the fan kit and season's greetings for them. We have like Shuhua's collaboration with the magazine Waves. She does so much with different magazines. I wish I could collect it all, but this one really was like a concept I loved, and so I decided to collect this one, but I cannot keep up. And then I do like collect larger inclusions. Some of these are pulls from back when I bought the albums. And then some I do think I did trade for my bias line. Like i-dle era, I was like actively trading for posters and Target exclusives, and I don't know, I was on top of my game. 2 era as well. This is like when I really was like, I want to complete this album card collection. But I didn't pre-order like the jewel case or polka version, so I was just looking to buy cards for that. I'm still missing some larger inclusions. At some point I was like a little bit demotivated. I was waiting for my GOM to get the rest of their things, and then I messaged them and I was like, oh, if you have any like posters that I'm missing, I would love to buy them off of you, but they didn't even have like everything that I needed, so sad. Some solo larger inclusions back here. Y'all, oh my gosh, I love them. I have like a unit of them together, and I always want to like put it on the cover of my binder, but I never do. There is a unit of them. There actually is 2 units of them in We Are era. One is like a really expensive and hard to find unit, and another one is a trading card unit, and I'm waiting to see if my local K-pop store will get the trading cards in. K-pop Nara got the trading cards in, but I do not live near a K-pop Nara, and my local K-pop store got the other Line Friends things in like a lot later, so I'm really hoping that they get this Line Friends merch drop in. So we will see, because I really need that Shuhua Soyeon unit card so bad. And that is the end of this binder, which I always also talk about splitting it, but it's just not time yet. So yeah, that is my Soyeon Shuhua i-dle binder. I do have one more binder for them. This A5 binder holds solos and cards that are not of Soyeon and Shuhua, that are not connected to any solo releases. So in the beginning, we do have Windy. As mentioned, I wasn't able to pre-order Windy. Did Windy come out? I think Windy did come out after I Never Die, but I wasn't up to date with like releases. So this is all that I collected after, which Windy is pretty difficult to collect. It is pretty limited, but I think I've collected quite a bit and I am very proud of it. If I ever do want to go back and try to collect more, I will, but I am content with what I have. Next, we have Oogie, which Oogie also just released today her teasers for her new single. I am so excited for new Oogie music. I loved her solo debut, and the concept of her solo debut was so beautiful. So I have a few things for her. And then Minnie, oh my goodness, her concept was also just stunning. I loved this release. I am still so salty that Cube never released any like selfies for the Blind Eyes Red music video. How did we miss that? I'm so confused. But nonetheless, I do have a few cards for Minnie. I also loved this outfit. And then I have a few cards from the merch, but they're just like concept Polaroids. And then I have one album card for each of my non-bias line for I Sway era. And I did keep OT5 for the fan club and season's greetings. This is my mini Mion collection. Mion has definitely become a huge wrecker for me after watching a ton of content, and this is like my mini Mion collection. I love these cards. Oh my gosh. And then, oh, I have Itzy back here. So Itzy, I have known about Itzy, of course, for such a long time, but it wasn't until Born to Be era where I really loved that comeback, and I loved every comeback coming after that. So I think it was like Born to Be and then Gold when Leah came back, and then Girls Will Be Girls. I loved all three of those. And so I did buy Gold because I did want to buy an album, because I loved that Leah was back. I love that they did versions of the Born to Be songs that I love and adore as OT5. And so these are my pools. And I have the IDs, and then I use Lilac album card because I did buy this album a long time ago. Also loved the album, but yeah, I would love to see Itzy in concert. There's so many groups I would love to see. I actually have a lot of like girl groups I would love to see. Itzy, enmix, Triple S is actually performing very soon. I might try to go see them. Who else? Obviously i-dle. Oh my gosh, I would love to see i-dle again. I feel like there was another group. Twice? Oh, I have seen Twice though. I haven't seen Itzy or enmix. That is the end of my Itzy and i-dle collection. So now we are moving on to the last collection that I have. I've decided to start off with this binder because it is smaller compared to the larger A4 binders that I have for Stray Kids. My last collection is Stray Kids. They are my alt group. I do collect a ton for them. I love collecting them. I've been a fan of them since after No Easy era, but before Christmas Evil, I think around like October of 2021. I think it was 2021. So I have been a fan of them for a while now, I would say, actually. But this is my Han and Lino binder. My alt, my bias in Stray Kids is Hanji, and my wrecker is actually Lino. And you know, the past year I've decided to really jump into that, and so I created this little, I kind of created it. I used like stickers and merch from small businesses to curate it, but this is my little Han Lino binder, and I love it so much. I now try to focus on just collecting their pobs. I used to try to collect OT8 sets and prioritize that, but I think it was 5-star Rockstar era, I found that I didn't find as much joy doing that. I was getting FOMO of everyone who had like a ton of cards of their bias, and so for 8 era, I focused more on collecting Han and Lino and Chan for some reason, which I dropped Chan because I was like, wait, I can't be doing that. I can't collect 3 members for Pobs. And so I moved those sets into here, and I also have my Hanji Pobs in here as well because I started trying to back collect, and for Hop era I definitely claimed a lot more for him. So anyways, let's get into the binder. So this is the binder. I'm sure if you've seen my videos, you've probably seen this binder, but yes. I did the photoism for Stay Week and I put it in here. It's so cute. There are some older sets that I do want to finish. Like, I do want to get Lino's Barnes & Noble card to complete this spread. And then I do want to get their equivalents for this spread, as well as the Namil Lucky Draw for this. And then these are remnants of my OT8 sets that I dropped. But yes, I do enjoy collecting this way now. And honestly, for Karma era, I'm only focusing on Hanji just because my wallet is in recovery, honestly, from all the tours and all the travels, which is totally fine. The cards will always be there, but I have not claimed a single Lino. It is sad because I do love like some of the cards from this era. Like some of the pop sets are very, very cute, and a lot of them are from Soundcheck like outfits, but I had to make the decision to just selectively claim Hanji cards. Honestly, selectively claim his cards that I think will be more difficult in the future to get, because he is a difficult member to claim, and I have to be smart about it. But, oh, this card is in a little top loader right now, but I do have that card. And then for the Japanese releases, I only collect Hanji. I have not really worked on this too much. I did work on Giant earlier this year, but I have not had time. Well, I always have time to spend money, you know, but I have not had the like extra funds to really work on Hollow. So eventually I will get to that. And then we have some collaboration cards. I have a new hyperfixation on these superstar cards. I have been on the hunt. I have been trying to keep up with any new releases. I have some very, very exciting cards to store away that you will see in my sleeving photo cards video. But yes, I love these cards, and these are Pacific. And that is the end of this binder. No, a sticker came off. No. Oh my gosh. Okay. Moving on to my Stray Kids album card collection. This is my first binder. In the front, I just have older cards from pools. I still have not finished my like album collection for them. I haven't purchased a lot of their older albums, in all honesty. Again, I will get to that at some point in my life, but that is the beginning. And then we get into No Easy. So as I mentioned, No Easy is kind of the era I became a stay. I was introduced to them actually through Thunderous on my For You page on TikTok. I saw a clip of their dance practice video, and they don't do this move anymore, but the part where like Changbin and Hyunjin get on the back step, I think it's Chan and Hanji, and they're like, dun, 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 dun. I was like, ooh, that is so cool. And so I watched that practice video, and then I watched their stages, and I was like, oh, I love this. I loved the concept of Thunderous as well. It was so gorgeous to me. Similar to like why I like enhypen's concept for fantasy, I love the concept of like the hanboks and just using traditional settings in their music video. And in the stage outfits as well. They actually recently had a stage outfit that it's not similar, it's kind of like a similar style, but it seems more like martial arts like outfits. And I'll insert like a photo or a clip for their ceremony stages, and I'm like, ooh, I'm going to be tempted to claim some lucky draws, aren't I? So yes, after Thunderous, like, or getting into Skiz from Thunderous era, Hyunjin was actually my first bias, and then it became Chan. Truly, like, this is happening with enhypen too, and it happened with Skiz. I'm not the type of person to be like, oh, my first bias is typically like my bias. Like, I pretty much like know right off the bat. Like, I don't know if it's just with alt groups, but with Skiz, I biased them all at some point, you know, like just getting to know the group. Because at this point, I watched so much of their content. Like, I was on top of watching their content. Also, when Christmas Evil promotions started, I had just moved to a big city, like, by myself. And so I was acclimating to that, and a lot of their content really just like kept me company, like acclimating to like a huge life change. And I didn't start collecting like at Christmas Evil because I didn't know too much about like group orders or like how to order albums without paying $50 in shipping. Like, I had the Christmas Evil album set in my cart and I saw the shipping and I was like, no thank you. Actually, no thank you. And they didn't have Christmas Evil in Target. Ordinary was actually the first release that they had in Target, and so for Ordinary, I was able to order off the Skiz shop because they did signed postcards that era. And then I ordered at Target, and then I ordered at my local K-pop store. And so I got all the versions through that, and I just kept my pulls. And I think I collected OT8 for the ID set, and definitely this set, I think I've talked about it, when they released the jewel cases, because they used to release it after the fact. I saw that it was the outfits from the trailer and I was like, oh, I'm collecting all the members. Like, there's no doubt in my mind. And so I'm glad I did when I did. But yes. So I never, like, at this point, Hanji was my bias. Like, I was like, oh, that kid is my bias. And I'd never wanted to trade my cards, honestly. Like, I truly adored all of them and I wanted my cards, my initial pulls. And so for Maxident, I went full in. I bought so many albums from Target and Barnes & Noble, and I was like, oh, I'm collecting OT8. Like, there's no doubt in my mind I'm collecting OT8. So that is what I did. I joined a group order for the case file version for OT8. And I'm thinking now, I don't even think I got a pop set with my case file version. Unless I downsized one. I'm not too sure. But yes. And then we have 5-star era, which I was still in my like OT8 mindset. I mean, I'm still in my OT8 mindset in terms of album cards, but I would buy like versions in sets of 8. So I think I bought Makestar, and I probably bought like the member version for the Soundwave set. And I feel like I used to have one more set. Also, Singmin is in this little Pachaco holder, but maybe I didn't. And then we have Rockstar. I think this is Target. These are random. These are random in the Nemo, and like the Nemo came with an OT selfie set, so I used to have INs and I think I accidentally threw it away, but I do want to finish this. I have 4 out of 8 of the members. I just one day. But yes, I love Skiz. I miss tour. I miss going to their shows. I tweeted, like, they did Killing Voice this era, which, oh my gosh, my prayers were answered. I loved Killing Voice, and to see Skiz on there too, like, I had been waiting, and they were just so, like, not all over the place, but they were just, like, dancing and having so much fun, and it just, like, reminded me of tour. Like, when they performed I Like It, they were all doing the choreo, and I was like, I think we all miss performing. Like, we miss seeing you perform, and you miss performing. Like, they probably have the equivalent of, like, PCD to us. Like, I know that they had been touring for a long time, but you can tell Skiz love to perform, and even though it is tiring and they deserve this break, even though they're promoting, they probably miss it. I'm sure they miss it. But I want to see them again. And that is the end of this first binder. This is I attempted to make a binder cover and it did not turn out well, so I just cut out a heart from one of the Maxton albums and called it a day. And this is I didn't even attempt to make an album cover. This is my second Stray Kids album binder, and this holds 8 up until Hop era because I haven't stored Karma or even set up Karma, honestly. The signed postcards. During this era, I was still trying to collect some exclusives, and honestly, during this era, I've kind of like slowed down on collecting, or at least rushing to finish my collection. So you can see I do have missing album cards. For previous eras, like Maxident, Rockstar, 5-star, I was so determined to finish my collection as quickly as I could, but I felt a bit burnt out doing that, and so that's why I've changed the way I do collect. I tried not to change what I collect, but you know, I'm not worried about this Felix. Again, one day I will get all these cards and finish these collections, but this year was really like a year of traveling and prioritizing tours and concerts, and honestly, I think next year will be 2, or I hope so. I feel like it's not crazy to say that Skiz might tour next year in the US, that is. So that is why I've just focused on album cards these days and selective POBs. I'm not giving up quite yet on completing this set, but then we have Hop era. For the signed postcards, I sometimes try to trade for Hanji, but honestly, I just usually keep my pools because, I don't know, it's just honestly a hassle to trade for them sometimes. And so this is the remnants of my Chan collection. I have kept only these 3 cards. I felt like they were not being appreciated in the back, because I didn't want to start a collection, like a binder for him, because then I would want to collect more. But these, like, this is my original Maxident signed pull. This card has been with me on like a major hike, and I'm like, I don't think it's damaged, but I'm like, we have lore. And then obviously I have to keep him. And my goal is to hopefully like get like top loaders or like photocard holders to put these cards in, so I could maybe like show them off a little bit more in my room. But yes, that is the end of this binder. Lastly, I have my merch binder, and this holds OT8 merch sets. It holds also like my Hanji merch cards right now, and it is pretty thick. I feel like we get more OT8 sets at the end of the year from, like, I'm anticipating honestly like a Dominate DVD release, and then Season's Greetings, and honestly we are in due time for a photo book as well, so I feel like at some point I do need to separate some things, but also I do store some of my larger inclusions in here, which is why it's so bulky. I have not found a way that I necessarily love to store my larger inclusions for skiz. I am thinking maybe to get the A4 wide binder from Meow Cafe for larger inclusions, but again, I'm not sure because they just have so many inclusions that are different sizes, and I don't love when inclusions like don't fit a pocket page well. So I've only stored what fits the pocket pages that I have, and I don't like when like pages are different sizes, so I try to stick with one brand. Anyways, that was its own tangent. But first I have fan kit sets. And then moving on to the next year, I have some larger inclusions, which I do like integrating these pages. I think it makes it look a little bit scrapbooky. One day I will use my fan club privileges that, you know, don't like, not the fans app. I will use it for a pre-sale of some sort, or maybe like a stay zone. Like, I am manifesting that for myself. I know that that means I will probably have to travel to Korea for events to use it, but that is a goal of mine. And then we have this most recent year, which this most recent year came with a like a raincoat. What are they called? Parka? It's not a parka. Raincoat, rain parka. I don't know. I think parkas as like the big fluffy things that you use in swim, like during swim teams. But maybe it is also called a parka. Anyways, that saved me for New York. I was using that. And what a great inclusion, Skiz. What a great inclusion. But also, you brought the rain. You did. You did. And then some larger inclusions, and then we get into Season's Greetings, which I'm always curious what their Season's Greetings concept will be, because they always use a cute concept for their Season's Greetings, which I think is so funny. Cute and cozy. This one was very cozy. Actually, let me take that back. Their 2025 Season's Greetings is more cool. Okay, don't know what I'm talking about then. This one was more cool. This was a spoiler for ceremony with all the jerseys. Oh my gosh, his hair was so long. I love it. I love these mini posters. Oh my goodness, like, look how gorgeous. Wow. Wow. And then photo book, which, like I said, I feel like we're in due time for a new photo book. This was back, does it say maybe 2022? And then fan meeting stuff. So this was from the pilot fan meeting. And then for magic school, they started doing more like merch with specific photo cards of the members. So I started collecting more hanji, as you can see. I feel like if I were to go to an event, I would want to go to a fan meeting because they just look so fun. Obviously, I would want to go to their concert as well, but we do get concerts in the US from them. Not the same set list, but we still do get concerts. And then I do anticipate us getting a Dominate DVD soon because we got Maniac, and this was from like the initial Maniac Soul Stops. They haven't released their encore dates for Soul, which honestly I'm a little shocked about. I thought it would have been released like during the scheduling or the promotions for Karma, because I think they did that for the Dominate tour. I don't know, but this is some of the Dominate Soul merch. Actually, this is the VIP merch for the North American tour. And then I have some extras. So that is the end of my Skiz binder. Do I show this last binder? Okay, I will show like another binder of larger inclusions that I don't really go into anymore, but I will show it nonetheless. This is a My Collection binder I've had for quite some time now, and I used to try to store a lot of my larger inclusions into this, but as new eras come, this was never going to sustain everything, and I didn't love it for all the inclusions that you got in their albums, and so this mostly holds the mini posters that they used to do. I do think that this binder was showed on my previous collection tour. It's changed a bit because I tried out some new things, but then I put things back. So yes, some no easy larger inclusions. I do try to collect OT8 for larger inclusions, and actually, like I said, I'm still struggling on how to store some things. Like this is like a binder, not a binder. What are these called? What are you called? A document case. This is a document case that has a lot of larger inclusions that I do want to store, but the receipts from 8 era I used to store in Ultra Pro pages, but I changed from those pages to Meow Cafe, and now I don't have pages to store these in. But yeah, that's maybe like end of the year project or next year project, if we're being truly honest. These are so pretty. And then they started doing the mini posters during Ordinary era. I think these are my pools, and then I never finished collecting all of them. I do want to. Oh my goodness. Okay, this is actually, I just had no place to store this like safely, so I put it in here a while ago. I got this on the Dominate tour when I was traveling. So I was in New York for the Dominate tour because I have stay friends who live in New York and who were going to the New York show with me. And one of them, we went to the Versace store in Soho because that's where Hyunjin was like a few days prior for, I don't know, his own event. And so we went like days after the concert, and my friend got sunglasses, and when you purchase something, they were giving like purchase benefits on the day that Hyunjin was there to those who like purchased Versace things, I guess. I'm not explaining this well for some reason. But anyways, they still had postcards left over, and the salespeople gave us postcards. I did not buy anything, but they still gave us a postcard. So this is his like exclusive Versace postcard. This is not a real signature, it's a printed signature, but I'm going to store him back in here. But they did actually have like real signed postcards from him on the day that he was there. And my friend actually was able to secure one, which is so cool. But yes, I just have him here for right now. Maybe eventually I'll like get a top loader and like I've never decoed a top loader in my life, so I don't know why I'm being so ambitious, but I'm like, maybe I'll get a top loader and deco it in like a Versace themed. I think that'd be so cool. Maybe I'll commission someone. But moving on, like a lot of these inclusions are so cool. I cut this up a while ago. This is from like the limited ordinary version, and then Maxident. The I love you letters. Oh no, the can I be your boyfriend letters. This is so funny. Oh, this is where my signed Singman went. I was like, I know I have a signed 5-star postcard, so I pulled Singman and I just kept Singman. Oh my gosh, what a cutie. Okay, Karma era, like ceremony promotions, Changbin, Cherry Bin, he looks so good. Oh my goodness, he is so handsome. And then Hanji signed a postcard, and these limited posters, which these are gorgeous. I really was like on my game to collect these as quickly as possible. And these are some film photos that I took at the San Francisco show. That is this last binder, and then I guess as a bonus, if I can find it, I do have one more binder. I'm like trying to show everything. So I do have this photo card from my enhypen collection that you maybe saw was missing, but I do have it in a photo card holder. I brought it to the tour. I got these nails done for tour. This is my last binder. This is my like mini collect book. I have Jungho from ATEEZ. I love ATEEZ. I saw them recently and of course they were amazing. It was my second time seeing them. You know it's my bias though, but I bought this Jungho water bomb like photo card because I actually wanted to go to Waterbomb in LA to see them, but that was a whole mess and sadly never happened. But maybe also it's a good thing that it never happened because there was, I don't know the reasoning behind the decisions they made. And then we have Woods, or I have Woods. I always say we, again, like this is, it's us, we have it. But I have Woods back here. I bought his, oh gosh, what was the name of this album? I love his music. Colorful Trauma. I vividly remember buying this when I was traveling for Maniac Tour in LA, not the encore, but like the actual tour, and I loved this album. I actually love his whole discography. I have been keeping up with like his newer releases. I mean, after Colorful Trauma, it was just one more album. It was Uri, you know which one, the one with Drowning. I love that album, but I never purchased it. But yes, I love Woods. I'm so happy he's back, and I am so excited for any new music he does. And then I have a freebie from the 17 tour. I really loved this freebie. And then in the back here, I have my blind box little cards because they are so cute. Yes, I really love the Crybaby series. And that is the end of this collect book. And then lastly, I just wanted to show you my Zone card. I pulled, you know, so I have him in this little packet, this little Hello Kitty packet. It was like a blind box from Daiso, and I pulled Hello Kitty, and I feel like it just goes well together. So that is the end of my collection, and I hope you all enjoyed. I hope to be putting out more videos this month because I do have a lot of fun photo cards to sleeve, to store. In the future, I do want to expand this channel to talk about like non-K-pop things, like other media, books, shows. I have done that like a little bit, but I do want to try to do it a lot more. And yes, I hope everyone is doing well, and I guess that is it. So until the next time, bye!